Hello watcher, welcome to this video. I felt called to bring some messages today. Today is actually election day in the United States, so my mood will certainly be changed by the end of the night. I'm not excited, but certainly interested. Oh, okay. I was just sitting before the reading, cleansing my cards and myself and thinking about what was going to come through for the reading. And the card Justice and the card Courage came out, and I saw this, like, I don't know, as if it were like a large face and then like a large tongue, you know, like they kind of had like carnival rides or like stone statues that are like open mouth, but it was like a tongue came out and it just like kept unfurling and unfurling and unfurling until it became like a pathway. So that's an interesting image to start us off. We have the card Transformation with the butterfly and the card Power with the crown of Isis or Hathor. So the sense of justice is definitely in the air. I've been thinking about justice because I was thinking about the way that I watch other readers on here use the word karma. So I am not well versed in the concept of karma. Ooh, the devil. I'm not well versed in the concept of karma, but it seems that when people use the word, they're, I don't know why this goose feather is important now. Okay. When they use the word, it seems they're talking about either retribution or reward. Which feels, I think what they're craving when they say the word karma is justice. And then sometimes what comes out is the devil, because a lot of us have a limited imagination when it comes to justice and when it comes to suffering. So, transformation and power, the devil. Yeah, it's almost like people saying like someone will be chained to what they did to you, and they'll have to learn the lesson of that, which is the energy of the devil. But I don't necessarily know if that's the energy of karma. I'm leaning towards no. So let's talk about that, and let's talk about justice, the devil. It's like they will have to go through some sort of inverting experience in order to gain the perspective, either gain a new perspective on what they've done or to fall further into the path that they've chosen. The Page of Wands. This is a young energy, maybe a child. 10 of Wands. Hi, Celine. This is a child with a lot on their shoulders. Maybe not necessarily a child, but certainly a young person by anyone's standards. Lena, come here. It's like they have the power to transform this burden. This burden was placed there because of the devil. And as I was discussing, like, it becomes present a lot of times due to other people's choices and our own choices, or the way that other people's choices kind of make us feel as though they've taken away our choice. So I guess what I'm trying to describe is like cycles of abuse or generational traumas that we're carrying. And it's saying that this burdened but young and vibrant person has the power to transform this energy. Oh, and as I was setting up this kind of dichotomy in the beginning with the devil card and the justice, and I think it's saying that we can bring justice to this situation, specifically this Page of Wands person, but it's going to require a reimagining of what justice is, because we're unprepared to come up with a harmonious imagination because of the energy of the devil. It's like that quote from Sharp Objects. It's like a baby weaned on poison. Like, I don't know. I don't know. They think it's milk. They adjust to it. They become it. I have an offering on the table for my great-grandmother that wanted to be in the video. So, I mean, the very literal interpretation of this for myself is present. It's interesting when you form an attachment with a passed on ancestor that you know suffered in their lifetime. A part of you, or a part of me, you know, does want to bring justice to that situation. And when the person is dead, it's like retribution is not available, you know? Not that that should be the way forward, but it's almost like carrying that burden as well as carrying the burden of knowing that there will not be justice as you understand it for certain situations that have occurred in your life. And it's like once you confront that, once you radically accept that, you can get to a place where instead of resenting that or feeling anger and helplessness, we can say that, you know, traditional justice may not be the path forward, as it is for many, many, many people, or as it is not, sorry. And I have an opportunity to reimagine what justice looks like and live that out in my life. Oh wow, the High Priestess. Oh. I feel like the cards are calling on me to be more vulnerable, which is like that was already a lot for me just now, but I'm gonna go for it anyway, because it's reminding me of this conversation that I had with my mother where she was talking about how she struggles to trust people, especially when it comes to men, and she's married to my father, so it's not like coming from a place of being untrusting and never having relationships with other people. She does have relationships with other people, but she still struggles with being able to trust them because of the way that they show up. And because they can't give her what she needs, she feels she cannot trust them. And she doesn't trust anybody to give her what she needs. And as much as I understood where she was coming from, and honestly feel pretty similarly, I had like a realization that I didn't want that for my life, or I didn't want that to be something that I carried on, you know? I wanted to be able to trust just in general, and especially if I were to choose someone to be my life partner, I would want to be able to trust them. I wouldn't want to make that commitment but still know that I wouldn't be able to trust them completely because of my own limitations, or theirs for that matter. And I don't know, you know, if I'm gonna be able to do that, or if I'm gonna be able to find that, or if that is something that I could even get to. But when you think about things generationally and you think, I wouldn't want my daughter to feel like that, it's kind of like that. It's like if I were to not carry that on and I were to be a trusting individual and choose to be with someone that I could put my faith in, and we continue to trust each other, and we formed a trusting relationship, and that was the example for the next generation. It's like, what could they think of? What could they imagine beyond that once we cross that hurdle, you know? My grandma's calling me. I'm out here.
Oh, okay, baby.
I don't know. Or what I do know is that I don't know, it's so strange to talk about. I've been forming this ancestral relationship, and it's like, and I can just tell that my great-grandmother like really loves me in a very pure way. And she doesn't love me with all of the complications that my mother and my grandmother loved me with. I don't know, it's something about the generational separation that makes things more simple. I'm not quite sure. But I don't know. I was going to vote the other day. I voted early, and it was like in this library, and there were some like info signs for some sort of mini museum that they had, and they were talking about I don't want to mispronounce it. I'll look it up after. But a group of indigenous people who had lived in the United States, and still do probably, and it said something about like I'm getting caught up in not wanting to misexplain. Anyway, it was basically saying that our leaders need to make decisions looking to the 7th generation ahead, and that is the way that their society made decisions. And that is, you know, I don't know, I guess I'm discovering that thought through my own lived experience and connecting it. So that's that. But obviously it's a beautiful system, and it's still in working use today, so hopefully more of us will catch on, I guess. Basically, I know that my great-grandmother wants to give me what she didn't have, right? And it's like in order to make, and I want to, I don't know, make her proud, I guess, to move things forward, the chariot. But it's hard, you know, it requires a complete deconstruction of history and identity and childhood, so I don't know, it's like trying to get to the end of the rainbow. I believe iris means rainbow? Is that correct? I don't know. Okay, let's close this out. We got the chariot and the 9 of cups. And the hermit. Yeah, it's about trust, as I was talking about it before, and it's like, if the ability to trust others is blocked, then there's an inability to trust the self. It's like self-reliance and self-trust aren't the same thing. Survival and sustainability aren't the same thing. It's like we owe it to our ancestors and to our descendants to go on the difficult journey inside of ourselves and know that in this life, all that we're wishing for is within ourselves. And if we can be brave enough to do that, maybe they'll grow up knowing that. And maybe they won't feel so coldly toward themselves or toward the world. And I don't know, maybe things would, maybe over time, the ecosystem could change. Four of Swords. Yeah, it's like a deep healing that like requires dreaming, you know? It's it requires us to get back into our time, into our like dream time, our original time. It's like the truth of things comes to us like in an echo, right? Like in a dream. There will be symbols, experiences, but things will not be one-to-one or applicable. They're always open to interpretation. They have to, I don't know. It's such a long journey from the subconscious to the conscious. It's like if you had all the information, you would misinterpret it because your view is not shaped to the dream time, the world. There's a little bee. The world. It's like we have to be open to the other world, outside ourselves and inside of ourselves. And know that I don't know that we're so lost, that we are so many generations away from the original time. But it can still interact with us, it can still come to us, it can still be reborn through us. We just have to stay open and not be so close-minded about the physicality of everything. The Fool. The Fool is the ultimate card of trust. Interesting, there's like a little Venn diagram of the O's. It's like, it's like if we're this world and the other world is here, we're always crossing one another. We're always overlapping. We're always touching. We're always sensing. There is no separation. There is no separation. And the Fool is kind of the ultimate representation of that, because he's choosing to jump into the world, not escape it or destroy it. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the world is innocent, or if the world is cruel, or if it's everything, but we have to know that it is a privilege to be ourselves. And I'm feeling this feeling of like, if there were enough of a give on the chain that was chaining you down, and it just broke, right? It's our responsibility to run towards ourselves and not stay there. Yeah, it's like, it must be so burdensome to have to escape and have to run and have to be aware of everything that's holding you down. But it's like you're almost at the end. It's harvest season. Things have been growing inside of you. It's time to harvest them. Interesting. The Queen of Swords, very strong presence. And the Knight of Wands. Someone is approaching someone else. Queen of Pentacles. Interesting. There are so many aspects of the self, and we can be all of them. That's our privilege. And it's okay to change when the time comes. We don't have to stay locked in certain ideas that aren't working for us anymore, in certain, like the idea of karma as retribution. We don't need to keep that. We can ask ourselves what in us is craving retribution. How can I create a world that brings me true justice, not revenge, I guess? I suppose revenge can be a part of justice, but it's not all it is. Okay. Oh. It's a very seasonal reading. I feel like it's saying, like, there are people beyond this world that care about us and love us and are working for us. Not only for us, but in our favor. And it's because helping us is a part of their story, not because they owe us something or we deserve a reward or a punishment, but because when I connect with my grandmother, it helps me heal. And when she connects with me, it helps her heal. And that's all it has to be. Okay, closer. Ace of Swords. And that's that on that. That's on period. Okay. Well, this was a nice reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. And I don't know, happy Hunger Games. See you next time.